Dictionary. The definition of noise is any sound that is undesired or interferes with one's hearing of something. Loud, confused, or senseless shouting or outcry. And those are two definitions of the word noise. I'm going to go into it, a brief go into noise. The benefits of noise. Noise can help a person to focus and concentrate. For instance, if you are studying, you can turn on some music and it will help relax you, and it will help you to focus and concentrate on the material that you need to learn for your upcoming quiz or test.
Sounds good. And I know I could tell that you were once a school teacher. You were a school teacher, is that correct?
Many blue moons ago.
Okay, so let me define noise as the way I see noise. I see noise maybe a little different than other people. To me, I can give you an illustration. Noise is a beautiful song that someone could be singing or playing, but you don't want to hear it. Okay? That's to me noise. And the effect of that concept in our community is there are things that's going on around us that we really don't want to be a part of. And it's a negative effect. It shows that we are in a vacuum of unescapable vibrations and unescapable noise. And it's a song that we don't want to hear, but yet we're hearing it 24 hours a day. We lay down to this noise and we wake up to this noise. So let me see, what are we saying here? We're saying that noise is to alleviate any sound of life, the sounds of life worth hearing. That goes into our ability to communicate. That goes into the process of our body's healing. That also goes into poor business decisions. Noise, something that we don't want to hear, that we're constantly being bombarded by. It's making us have bad decisions in our relationship. It's making us draw money from the bank that we don't really have and don't need to do. It's also in controlling with our networking in and out of our organizations that we attend to every week or every month or every day. It drags into that. And it also can participate in our abilities to get in and out of church. I feel like a lot of the young people don't want to go to church because of the noise. It's noise. It's something that's affecting us. And it's also the sounds of noisy vibrations. Do you understand what I mean by that, Arnessa?
Vibration.
I know I caught you off guard.
Yes, you did.
I didn't mean to. So let me go one step further. So also this sound that we don't want to hear, which is noise every day, it jumps into our lives, relationships. It tends to make us have mood swings. It tends to turn us into moods of jealousy. It brings us in moods of inadequacy. It tends to make our minds juggle thoughts that shouldn't be juggled, that should be really taken in as a correct way of thinking. But that noise is there. It's troubling, and it helps us make troubling decisions. It also adds to, and I don't want to say it like that, but it adds to forms of sexual molestations, maybe in the form of a raping type of situation, because the peace of mind is altered by the sounds, the vibrations, the noise. People want to escape it and they can't, and they look for unrealistic escaping procedures. Also, there's a form of bad energy. When you're around that noise, I don't want to take this up from you because I know you have so much to talk about, Arnessa, but you have bad energy when you're around that type of situation where you're just being bombarded by sounds that you don't really want to hear, but you're being bombarded by them on a daily basis, 24 hours a day. It tends to put you in a mood of helplessness. It starts a killing process in your mind of your ability to thrive over a situation, and it tends to make you feel helpless. It puts you in a mood of doubt. It makes you want to just give up. Some days you wake up and it's just so much noise and chatter and things going on around you, it just makes you not even want to come out the door. Can you follow me on that?
Yes. Yes. And to elaborate, noise can also be a nuisance for some people. In some areas, the noise can be a nuisance. For example, if you hear someone playing loud music and they won't stop it, that can be a nuisance to you. You and your inside be like, I wish the person would just stop, turn it off.
Sounds like you have kids. So I can take you one step further. So this sense of noise, it comes at us every day in all directions. There's no one way. It bombards us in all directions, at all sides, on a daily basis. So that being the case, unwanted noise, or just noise in general, every day in our community, it clings strongly to our emotions. Little do you know that your emotions are tied into everything around you. So not only you may be having a feeling that's good about someone, there's just a bombarding, an overwhelming amount of noise that's coming in at you at all directions. Maybe it's because it's not exactly what you want. It's something that's so much different, and that's the effect of it. It tends to take emotions of it takes us on to a distraction. So you have now a distraction when it comes to love. You have a distraction when it comes to teaching, nurturing, patience, the ability to give someone guidance. So noise is affecting these things every day. You may see a person is just totally irrational, just out of it because of what they've come through and what they're being bombarded by in their mind and in their ears. So can you name a few distractions?
Distractions?
Yeah.
If you go past an apartment building and in the building there's an air conditioner that lets off noise.
Yeah.
And that's as you drive by, you will hear that. I
can imagine how people can have. I saw it on TV one time. They had a commercial where they said this is gray noise, and it was just a vibrational attack, and they were saying that this is comforting. And they had another one. I don't know. Yeah, it was called some other kind of noise. I said it was okay. So
noise.
Yeah. So you want to have a peaceful thought. See, there's nothing that I can outrule or outdo silence. You know, this is a place that has to deal with communication, and the only noise that's on this planet is noise of communication. Outside of the things that man has put on this earth to make noise, you would only hear sounds that came with communication. Even if it was the rustling of a tree, it's one tree communicating with another. If it's the sound of a twig falling on the ground, that's the communication that the tree has with Mother Earth. So these are natural sounds, but they're not vibrational sounds that come at you in every direction all day long. And then you are forced to live under that. So it's not an easy thing to do. So now I could tell you that the communication, when it comes to our community, noise makes us fatigued. I mean, if you ever noticed it, some days you could just get up and in the middle of the day, you're fatigued. It's the bombardment of the things that's coming directly at you in the form of noise. You know, I know a guy that's office was right by what you just mentioned was a air conditioner. This dude was always tired. Every time you went in the door and talked to him, he was tired. And I mean, he was just getting bombarded by that. And I saw the effect that it made on him. There's also an effect of a lack of awareness. You know what I mean, Anessa? Like, then people aren't as aware of what you're talking about or your project when they're being bombarded constantly by noise, which is affecting their emotional processes. And so now they're harder to talk to and less stressful on the point. So there's also an effect on people's ability to be believable. You know, I know you're going to proceed behind me, but when you are in the process of, say, a evaluation of some particular item or person or project, and you're being bombarded in every direction by noise, it makes you less believable, and it makes people listening to you less believable because they're hearing something outside of what you're saying that they don't want to hear. So it kind of pushes back against you. Now, these things seem to be unawareing things, but they are there. And sometimes, and I think we need to play a part in defining them. It's also when it comes to your desires. For instance, you can see someone that you really want to have a conversation with. Noise can also play a part on that, and it can lower your ability to want to have desires. You'll want to not be communicating with people because of the noise, because of the music that you're hearing, or because of the construction outside, or the constant vibrating of, even, everything makes a noise, it seems like, out here nowadays. It also can lower your personal awareness, things that you have personal encounters with on a daily basis. That noise affects that. You may not be able to do the things that you want to do because of the noise. It will affect you in a negative way, and then you'll turn away from doing things that needs your attention. And noise also can be defined more when you're around a company of people that are shooting lines and saying things and doing a lot of profanity and and all these types of things is around. It's things that you don't want to be around, and that's noise, and that's an effect. So can you add something to what I'm saying? Because I've been running off my mouth.
Okay, sure. Another noise would be if you are in an area and there is a lot of fighting and a lot of guns going off. That is a disturbance, and that is something that will disturb you and bother you, and have it so you're having problems sleeping. It can disturb your sleep.
Well, I know that doesn't bother you because you live in a gated community. And
no, I do not. You keep saying that. So one day I will, but right now I don't.
You don't hear gunshots at night.
Right now I don't live in a gated community. But gunshots is something that can affect you and will make you go inward.
That's true.
According to researchers.
So, let's break this down. So we can look at this as, who's in charge of this noise that's going on? Can it be God or can it be Satan? Let's look at the negativity that it places on mankind. Look at the destruction that it's doing to our young people and our older people. Even to the point where a person has a hearing aid and they're picking up more vibration from the hearing aid than they are from people talking. And so now they are irritable. They're wanting to talk to you, they're irritable. So I can break it down and say, this is a form of Satan and the things that are not conducive to our ability to achieve. It's working against us. We need to be aware of it, and we need to try and understand it in many ways. So, Anissa, can you give us one? Let me see. I know you know this already, right? I know you know because you sleep very well at night. Let me see. Do I have anything I want to say? Yes, I do. I think I hear the bell. That's Xavier. Some people have Alexa. We have Xavier. So let me see here. Here we go. Okay. So we talk about. Let's see. Yeah. So for your hard work and sacrifice and dedication, you deserve to have the best care for your car. I trust Don at Touch Above Auto, 2530 Hamilton Avenue. There, your car will receive great service and professional care. Ask about their weekly and monthly service, where fair pricing is on sale. For more information, call and ask for Don. And this number is 216-862-1841. Tell him Mr. Lucky sent you. So that was very important that I had to get that out the way, because you know what? Summer's here and we all want to get in our vehicles. We want to go places. We want to do things. And we don't want to be distracted by tow trucks. They make too much noise. We don't need that. So I'm on now some of the things that we can do about the situation. How can we remedy our destined to be in this environment, this part of your life that's making life not even worth, some of your time sometimes. It's just bad. You want to go in and just close the door. So I kind of sense that there's a few things that we can do. One is herbs. There are herbs that we can eat that would not just decrease our ability to have these anxieties when we're going to have to be around the noise, but there's herbs that we can select to eat that will lower our anxiety so that we can make positive decisions when we're in a situation that's overwhelming when it comes to noise. Do you have one, Nessa?
One thing that you can do, you can go to the park and you can go for a walk, or you can go to the park and just sit and meditate, and that will help release
that is exactly, yes, that definitely works very well. And I think there's another thing about when you go outside, you have to understand how to be around the trees because they usually can reflect some of that noise away from you and give your brain the ability to rest for a moment. You know, also at our homes, we can make our bedrooms and our family rooms a quiet zone. You know, I remember back in the day, people would do that. They would tell their children that from 5 o'clock to whatever 7 or 8 o'clock, you don't move, you don't talk, you don't pop your gum, you don't turn your automatic little car on with the batteries. It's a quiet zone. It's a quiet time. You know, and to manifest that with your children gives them the opportunity to understand themselves better and understand their brothers and sisters and so forth, and gives them that opportunity to regain themselves. So let's see, another one is not to sleep in a noisy environment. If you have to drive an extra mile or two, go ahead and find someplace quiet that you can pull your car over and rest yourself. You're not going to get that done in a truck stop. Because once they hit that motor on that diesel, that's going to wake you up, and now you're mad and you're still hearing diesel sounds, and now you're irritable about the sounds. Unknowingly, you don't want to be bothered with people. Unknowingly, you're not ready to believe anything that could be a positive influence on you. You're actually fighting against yourself, but that's not really what it is. You're really fighting against the noise that you're being bombarded with from all sides. So there's another thing we can do too. We can have a time in our home where we speak very softly to one another. And I mean almost to the point of a whisper. So we can say, okay, babe, okay, hon, we're going to whisper. We're going to do this whisper thing for between now and the time we go to bed, where I'm going to have to be close enough to you to hear what you're saying. And if I'm too far away, it won't bother me because I'll have my space and my time to be with myself. But yet I will hear you in a whisper. It's a beautiful thing. They used to call it in the wind. They used to call it whispering winds. And I mean, one time I climbed a mountain, not to get too far, but when I got to the top of the mountain, I'm sure it was over 5,000 feet. Don't ask me what made me climb, okay? It wasn't a woman. And when I got to the top of the mountain, there was a whispering wind, and it was really magical. I wanted to stay there forever, but there was no 7-Eleven up there, so I had to come back down. And believe me, coming down was much harder than going up. So let's see what else we can do here to curb that situation that we're in every day with this noise that's attacking us, this demonic sounds, these demon noises that's attacking us. We can pay more attention to where we are and the noise levels around us. You know, a lot of people like to buy instruments that tell them if their water is clean. We need to buy instruments to tell us the level of noise that we're surrounded by. Because there's a time when we can select a noise level that we find ourselves really making great decisions, really making positive change. And once we discover what that noise level is, now we have an opportunity now to constantly have ourselves around that level. And believe me, not only would it help you, but it'll help all those around you. Some of the times if you go into certain offices, let's say for instance a doctor's office, you can almost hear a pin drop in there because they realize the importance of that silence. It meditates you, it comforts you, it soothes you. Silence is, they say, golden. Wow, there's an eagle flying outside. Well, I wonder what he's looking for. Okay, now let's talk about something else. You got one for me, Anessa?
Yes. With sound, but before you go to bed at night, you can play relaxing music, and that will calm you. It will distress you from whatever you encountered during the day.
I know why I selected you as my co-host. Not just that you're rich, but because you definitely can just put it together. And you're absolutely right. Soft music can break noise, and it can also break the noise vibration. And that's kind of like what happens. So I think once we get into breaking things down when it comes to noise, we'll understand that soft music, it sort of plays a part and it ricochets off of the negativity. Let's say that there's a construction company going on outside your door or your window, right? And then you're inside playing very soft music. Okay, so that alone in itself breaks down the noise. Okay, especially if it's something that you want to hear, it breaks down that noise, it breaks down that vibration, it breaks down the sound, and it gives you an opportunity to find your thought, find yourself, be who you are, what you want to do for that day. It kind of gives you an opportunity to really achieve, to strive. So there's another thing you could do. Drinking. Drinking lowers your ability to pick up those vibrational sounds. Now, don't get me wrong. I know you're thinking that I'm talking about Mad Dog 2020. And for those of
Yes,
you who
that's
don't
what
know,
they are thinking. You're talking about.
for those of you who don't know what it is, if you ever really think about it, a lot of times when we go home, we want to just maybe have a brandy, and we maybe want to have a bourbon. There's a lot of decisions have been made on that bourbon. But the point is that drinking, once it goes in your mouth, nose, mouth, ears type of situation, it tends to, now I'm not sure if I want to check this out with an ear, nose, and throat guy or girl, but drinking lubricates and it buffers the ear yes it does, to the point where drinking something steadily, like say you have a tall drink sitting next to you, drinking that gives your vibrations in your head, it buffers it, so that you're not hearing that noise as hard as you normally would hear it. Let's say you're listening to a song again that you don't want to hear, but you have a drink sitting next to you, a big tall drink, and you're sipping on the drink while you're listening to the noise. The noise is not affecting you. You have an opportunity to think, and it's because of the drinking. Now, I don't mean go get you a bottle and just go turning it up. Now, you don't hear nothing, you don't know nothing, you haven't seen nothing, okay? No, it doesn't work that way, but it does work. So,
Excuse to
yes,
interject
please.
But that's why it is said after a long day, you go home and then you cork open your bottle and you have a glass of wine, and that will relax you.
Okay, that's what kind of wine?
Red wine.
Well, red wine? What kind?
Well, any kind of wine you want. Some people don't drink red wine. Any kind of wine. I like red wine.
And there's nothing wrong with red wine. One of the most relaxing things I used to do is when I was in the country more, I have a friend that lives out there. At night, I'm telling you, there's just a sound of silence that just breaks any type of noise that you could ever want to hear. I mean, if it was a symphony by Mozart, it wouldn't compare to the silence that you have when you're out somewhere in the country or you're experiencing something like that. So like we said, sound is harmful, and then sound can also be a pleasure. So let's talk about those soothing sounds. I know you've experienced those from time to time. For instance, who would that be? Who plays a soothing song? Not LTD. Let me think. Oh, rap music. Is rap music one of those sounds that we love to hear, that calms us and soothes us and makes us relax?
I guess it depends. It depends.
I don't know. I know there's a high price for it. A lot of young people are hearing it and making decisions that's costing them their life. A lot of them are making decisions hearing it that tends to make traffic a situation where we all need to be aware of. A lot of them are hearing it and involving in relationship that is difficult, and I'm not sure what that could possibly be. But I think we touched on a lot of points today. I think we made a lot of sense out of nonsense and not a lot of sense out of noise. I hope that we now can take this information that I've given you today and find some truth in some of it. Make some changes in your life to make it better. We have to follow the signs, and that's what this show is all about. To give you information and show you how you can use it, make these necessary changes to make your life better. And make it better for you and your community, and make it so that you can also enjoy what you've accomplished for your life. So I'm Mr. Lucky, and I am here on, and I'd like to put a shout out to Blot Radio, expanding business leaders of tomorrow today. And And something you would like to say?
Hello, Kim. And Byron.
Okay, well, I got a list, but I'm not going to call them off now. I'd like to thank you for participating with us, and next time I come, you will hear. That means come on outside because we're waiting for you to join us for another ride with Following the Signs. I'd like to let you know we've enjoyed you, and I look forward to being able to be with you again.
See you.